from the outside, it looks like they got it figured out, but it's a trap. They look like they're performing, but they're dying on the inside.
They think they're king poobah of the entire real estate industry, and they're actually a prisoner of their own kind of making.
Welcome to Real Estate Untucked, where we say the quiet thing out loud. Here's what nobody's saying out loud. The fact that you are good might be what's actually screwing up your business. Dude, like you're doing the thing, you're closing deals, income is up, the team seems like it's doing, but good things, but you still can't breathe. You still can't take a full day off. You still can't go sit on the beach for an hour without your phone.
I love that, right? Because you're like, no, I take time off, but literally the pictures are all of them on the phone at the beach or in the labor and delivery giving birth. And they're like, no, I'm not working all the time. You're like, you are. If you're thinking about work, you're working, right? At least that's my theory for my tax reasons.
Yeah,
but I won't get into that. So, I mean, all right, I see what you're saying a little bit. I think I'm following. So tell me more,
dude. And here's the thing, I have these conversations all the time. You do too. They're almost identical. Agents that have a team, right? They're doing, 50, 80, 100 transactions. Looks good on the outside. They just got the award. And yet they're like, I can't step away. I can't go on an actual vacation. I'm waking up in the middle of the night wondering if, blank got done. And from the outside looking, they got it figured out, but it's a trap. And they are, they look like they're performing, but they're dying on the inside.
That's always my favorite. Like when you talk to somebody and like, I've got 20 agents, I did 2,000 deals. I'm like, how much you make? Or what's your day look like? And it's just 24/7. And I made $200 last year. And you're like, all right, looks good from the outside, nice and shiny, but let's be honest, you're not killing it. But they've built this thing that they can't stop now, right? Because the perception's there.
Yes.
The people are there. They think they're king poobah of the entire real estate industry. And they're actually a prisoner of their own kind of making.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like the business is performing because they're performing. And that's not a business, that's a practice, right? Which is, building a practice is okay, but it's different than building business, which is what most people want. Most people want a business, right? The problem is they're performing. They are the system. They're the process. They're the one answering all the questions. They're the decision maker, right? They're doing as many or more transactions than they personally before they actually had a team. They've gotten better at doing the work, but that's why it feels like they're growing, but they're not actually. They just have a lot of complexities coming at them and they're struggling.
Let me ask you a question, a little sidebar. Do you think you're a true team leader if you're actually active in sales?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's disagree on this. Yes.
I think we do, but so what's the point of having a team? I guess we got to define team, but what's the point of
I think you can build a business in different ways. Years ago, I had this person that came to me. I actually met her husband the other day. She was an operations person and she built a real estate team, had never sold a house, never gone on a listing appointment, never sat down with a buyer. She built a business and she stayed in the operations seat, which she hired agents. She was interested. She built that way. I think some agents, especially level 2 or 3, they can hire someone to be the team leader. They can hire someone to take care of the money. They can hire someone to do a lot of these things and they can go sell houses. That's cool. But they hired a director of operations. They hired, maybe some of them even hired a coach, right? Like me to come in and coach their agents because they don't want to do that. They want to own the business, but they're okay with being, hey, my best seat is selling houses. So they stay in the selling houses seat. I think it's doable to do that, especially as you're working your way up through there. So I think it's possible. It's not, I'll say this. I think one of the biggest bullshit things that a lot of agents are told is you've arrived when you get out of day-to-day sales. For some people, that's true. For a lot of people, maybe that's not it. And for even more people, it's not a hard line. Sometimes they step out and then they're like, hey, I do these ones, or I step in when the seasons gets rough. I don't know. What's your take on it?
I'm indifferent because I hear you. I do think that the right team setup with operations built in, yes, the team leader can keep selling. But if you're selling and have no ops help, like you might have some TCs or some admin, but you don't actually have a director of ops that's not your cousin that used to be a manager of a Wendy's, but a legitimate person, dude, you're a team captain, right? You're on the field playing with the rest of the guys playing soccer. You just get to go flip the coin and get to hold the trophy at the end, but you're not a team leader. So I think we get that confused a lot where we think the team leader has to be the one selling it and the one doing it. And what I see a lot is when people hit the bottom, when they are stressed out, they're cracked out, they look like they've aged 10 times more than a
Yeah.
president has in 4 years. And like, I just need help. And like, that's never going to work either because
Yeah.
they can't vocalize what they need help with. And so I think if you're going to start a team, you got to start with the ops in mind and build around the ops, not build around the leads and the sale and the crumbs that you're going to drop for all the little ones, you know?
And one of the simplest ways to do that is I remember I got a list of this years ago that I could share with somebody if they want it, but it had all the activities that a real estate agent or
Yeah.
team needed to do, right? All things like, and it
Yeah.
was everything from the sales to manage the money to do the things to the close. It had all the different things that the agent do. It was like, a couple hundred things. I think you look at that and you go, all right, who's going to do what? And I'm okay with lots of different structures, but who's going to do what? And what most team leaders find themselves doing is they're just doing all those things for more people. And
Yeah.
that's why it's so tough. And I'll say one more thing. When you're hiring, sometimes it's okay to hire someone that isn't just starting. I think too often, especially on the executive admin or that side, we hire people that are new to this or don't really know what they're doing. And some of y'all need to go hire somebody that has done this before. They've
Hold
helped
on.
this kind of person before. They've
Hold.
ran this before. They know what they're doing. Or you hire someone to get that person up to speed right off the bat instead of you trying to do it.
So you're saying that we have to hire somebody that knows what they're doing and pay them more than minimum wage and expect stuff. Hold on. Because I mean, every time I talk to anybody, they're like, oh yeah, my TC, they're like blank, blank, blank an hour. You know, and you're like, that's not a badge of honor. Like they just got out of high school. But I think if you reverse that a little bit, like take the sarcasm out, obviously, but like if you go hire an actual director of ops that can come in and you're in sales, say you're paying them $100,000 a year. But if they take off half of your bullshit so you can sell a quarter more and then also help your team be better and sell more, did you not just pay for that guy or girl 3 times over again? Right? It's amazing to me how people will trip over dollars to pick up pennies.
And if the math doesn't math, you need to go back to the drawing board. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you draw out a plan, we do the math, it doesn't work, but you got to go back to the drawing board. I mean, imagine a dentist that's starting maybe he's been a dentist before, but now he's starting his own practice, right? Is he better paying someone who's ran dental practices for the last 15 years and paying her $100,000 or on a hope and a prayer, bringing somebody on that has never run a dental practice before at $35,000, $40,000 a year? Yeah. All of us will say the 100,000 person with 15 years of experience all day long because he doesn't know what he's doing. No, he's a good dentist. He's not a good business owner yet. And I think sometimes do it. So people go like, well, then I'm gonna have to like save some money. Yeah, save some money. Like get profitable, get a phenomenal business, make a business plan that a bank would actually loan on and go get a business loan. But they're not going to give you money if you don't have a great business plan. That's what I love, that little loophole. Although we will give a college kid $200,000 that's going to go get a major in like East Hawaiian, art on the fourth thing. Another story. Right. But like we've all been there where we look at it on the outside, everything seems great. And we're telling ourselves like, this is what it takes. I just have to grind it out. But the price of success is it's a design flaw. We're not running it like a business. Yep. And I think we got to go back and do it this way. So drop in. I know we talked about this earlier. Like, what are the 3 traps? What are some of the traps you see most often that really get people stuck in this?
If I had to go with the first one, I think I would call it like the dependency loop, right?
Yeah.
Where you have to make every decision. I call it peck to death or death by 1,000 cuts, right? Like people do not do anything without your permission or your guidance. Either you've hired people that are indecisive or you're a maniac and you can't let anybody make a decision because you're, a son of a bitch. I don't know what it is, but you're one of those two if you are that center cog doing all these things. That's the first one.
Well, and a good example of that is I was talking to one of my clients the other day. He makes $1 million plus a year. And he's like, my new assistant's driving me crazy. She asked me all these questions. Right. So I was like, cool, put her on the phone. So I do a call with his assistant the next week. And she's like, I have no idea what the hell's going on. I don't know when he wants me to do it and when he doesn't want me to do it. I don't know what's okay for me to make a decision on, what's not okay for me to make a decision on. Yep. And so I go back to him and go, this wonderful person is confused out of her sweet little mind. You know what I mean? You got to figure out, hey, I need this done. It's okay for you to totally make your decision on it. Yep. Here's this one. Like we call it right. Leaf, branch, trunk. Leaf. This is a leaf decision, right? Would you order coffee for the event? I don't give a rip what kind of coffee it is. Just go do it. You know what I mean? Like I get paper for the office. Don't care. I order paper, right? A branch decision is like, right. Go do this. If you need my help, I'm here. But like you can probably handle this on your own. And then a trunk decision is like, cool, go do some research, but don't press order until we have the conversation. Yep. Another example, hey, if it's less than $500, like you're smart, make a decision. If it's over $500, like call me and I'll help you through it. But we got to give them some boundaries, or they're just confused out of their mind.
You're going to laugh at this, but my right hand is getting ready to go on maternity leave. And so we've been creating the book of Brad. I swear to God. And so it's it's literally what I eat at Moe's, what I eat at Chipotle. Like it has like where I get my hair cut, like it sounds stupid and I feel really douchey for having it. But at the same time, the person that's going to replace her, I need to be like, hey, I need you to order me food. I'm in the middle of like meetings today, and they'll know exactly, hey, Chipotle, cool. They know what I want. It took some time, but like that little bit of time is going to save me and save them to having to make decisions.
All right, men, here is the greatest hack of all time. Are you ready for this? This little side note. This is why you're really here. This is why you're really here at Real Estate Untucked. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, you know how YouTube works. Like and subscribe so we know this is working and it keeps pushing the content out.
Yeah, this is what we do as a passion project. Wayne's got his own coaching, I got my real estate, but we've come together because we want y'all to learn from all our scars and mistakes. So that like and subscribe means the world to us because it means you care and it means we can keep giving, and also it makes us look cool with my mom.
Absolutely.
Dude, make one for your wife or your partner, your spouse, whatever it is.
Like a cleaning, like a cleaning chart?
Yes, like sweet baby Jesus over here. Like I will forget what I like the most, okay? Let alone what somebody else likes. Like make a list, make a book orders. Here's your favorite coffee order. Write that down, right? Here's what she orders at this place. Write it down. Here's your favorite place to get her nails done. Write it down. I swear to God, it is the relationship hack. Write that stuff down. When she's like, oh, I need to get my nails done. You're like, dear sweet, where does she go? I got it written down. What does she like from Chipotle? I got it written down. What flowers does she like? Write that down. Make a book on your partner. Swear it'll save you. Why am I single? I mean, come on, Brad. This is that's the real crazy. Anyway, all right, listen to this another podcast. Anyway, write stuff down. Make the book on you. Absolutely. Hey, I need a haircut. Cool. They can open up and go, here's where Brad gets his hair done.
Yeah.
Easy.
The times I like it, when I want it, all that stuff. So, all right. So let's go to the second trap that people are falling into with teams right now.
The destructive abundant, what do we used to call it? The destructive abundance, meaning that more is not always better. Right. Most people think that more is always better. More money has got to always be better. More transactions has got to always be better. That's not always true. Sometimes you make too many hires and it crumbles the ship. Sometimes you put more time in one place and you miss out. It's like more does not necessarily equate to freedom.
And I want to piggyback on that because I've seen it literally with my own eyes that teams get opportunities, whether it's representing a builder, whether it's taking over foreclosures for a bank, certain types of lead sources, banks that give leads. And they're like, dude, I got all these leads, but they come with the 40, 50, 60% price tag. Right. So I know it sounds redundant from what we talked about earlier, but I just dawned on me. There's a builder back in the day that approached my company and said, I want you to rep me. And I was like, cool. So I spent 3 days, drove to all the neighborhoods, started doing my stuff. And guess what? He didn't even come. I gave him the proposal and he's like, I already went with the other company. I was like, why? He's like, because they'd pay my $40,000, whatever it was, Zillow bill for the month. And they're going to do it for X%, which was like 2X less than I was going to do it for. So they put everywhere that they're a representative builder and they do all these deals, but their average commission is, no, it's probably negative. To be honest with you, it has to be.
And maybe it makes sense the long term. I had a client of mine, she goes, oh, I did 80 transactions last year. I was like, that sounds pretty cool. And she goes, well, like 60 of those were builder reps and I get paid $500 a transaction.
Yeah.
And I was like, dear Lord. Right? And we broke it down. We made some changes, everything else. Right. We got and one more thing to point out here that's really beautiful is, and you and I talked, especially at E45, we talk about this a lot. By the way, if you want to come to the most badass room ever and get advice from people that are on the trail or further along than you to save you a couple $100,000, E4, E5, we do it every quarter. Incredible. But one of the things we talk about is, there's these beautiful plateaus. And plateau is like sometimes has a negative connotation, but especially like an independent brokerage. And you've seen this over and over, right? At like, let's say 12 agents or 15 agents, there's this kind of beautiful spot where like you're making money and things work. Then the next place you got to get to is like 40, right? 35, 40 agents seems to be kind of this number. It's like at 35, 40 agents, okay, now we're making enough money that we can pay for the leverage. We need the help, the office staff, everything else. Like we're kind of good. And then, but I'll tell you what, going from 40 to like 80 is a big old step.
Yes.
And you ain't making money at 50, 60, 70. Like you're making money again at 80 or 100.
Yeah.
But man, that's a big thing. So there's a lot of people that go, man, at 35, 40 agents, this thing is beautiful. We're making money. We're taking care of our agents. And guess what? I don't want to go from 40 to 100. I'm going to start property management. Or I'm gonna call Brad and figure out how to launch an insurance agency or whatever it is. Maybe the math doesn't math. 40, 35, 40 is beautiful.
Yeah.
Just adding, hey, I had another 10 agents. I got 2 more staff people. And all of a sudden we're negative on the P&L.
Yeah. All right. So to get to this, so the third one, right? And I think it's going to hurt some people. Team leaders stop doing what they want to stop doing and keep doing what they don't want to do because they think it's their identity. Meaning you've built a beautiful team. You've got people in place. You got the right people. You got the director of ops. You're doing the right things. And you're like, what am I going to do? Well, I guess I'm just going to work on the website, and you're like, no, your identity is not tied to the team necessarily. Your identity needs to be focused on money producing activities, talking to new agents, talking to builders, talking to, where was I going with that one? Somewhere else. You're talking to somebody. Hell, you're talking. You're not doing, you're talking. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yep. Okay. So let's go into how do we fix it?
Okay. So here's the thing.
Super easy.
Yeah. Right.
Super easy. You're driving the car 200 miles an hour and just flip it. Just do a UE, without trying to crash and burn the whole thing. Right. So like there's 3 things we wrote down that I think will help. The first one is like audit the flow, meaning, and we talked about this on another episode, just audit a week, right? And write down all the decisions that are coming to you, all the things that are coming to you and go like, what's making this actually hit my plate, right? If Brad says, hey, I need to get a haircut. And somebody says, where do you get your haircut? Oh, shoot, I need to write down where I get a haircut so that stops hitting my plate, right? Somebody goes, hey, should I give a refund on this? Like write down your process for refund. So just audit and flow for 1 week and start there. Write down every decision that comes to you. And then what could you do about that so you're not the bottleneck anymore?
And an easy way, I mean, you have to do the work to actually figure out the actual math, but like the easy way is if you dread going in the office or you go in early or the weekends because you're like, I can get so much done, nobody's here. If that is what you say to yourself, that means you're dying 1,000 deaths of paper cuts. There's 100%. So let that sink in. The other one, I mean, so where do I want to go with this one? I think it's like 5 things, right? It could be 50 as well. But the second one is document before you delegate. So a really good person in our E5 group, I liked what he said. He said, every time I do something more than once, I record it. We've all heard that. But he's like, I actually recorded 3 times. So I have 3 videos because I may say something different the first time than the second time than the third time. If you can have help, maybe it's virtual, maybe it's in person, that can take 3 videos and then run it through an SOP. Or, real big one here, take it, run it through AI, get a transcript of it, have it mesh it together to one thing. Now you have it, because here's what I've seen time and time again. I get hired or consulted with to say, hey, I want to build this out. But they have not clearly told their people what they want to do and how they want it done. They just say, go do it. And again, it's not going to be done right because they're doing the best of their ability. And then you're mad and then you don't like them. And then you don't think you should hire people. And then it just on and on and on.
It was interesting. Last week, I had a cool opportunity to spend time with one of the founders of Go High Level, which was very cool. And one of the questions I asked him, because we were talking about virtual assistants and everything else, I said, at what point is it okay for someone to delegate something they don't understand? Because what I find is a lot of people try to delegate things they don't understand. And I'm trying to find that line. Like, when do I need to learn it before I delegate it? What's okay to delegate that I don't understand? Like, it seems kind of murky to me. And I'm looking for more clarity there. One of the things he said in that conversation was, he goes, sometimes it's okay to like learn it together. Meaning like maybe I don't understand Google Ads, but I want to eventually have a virtual assistant that does that. Maybe we go learn it together. Maybe that's okay, right? It's like, maybe you don't have it documented, but it's like, hey, I'm going to give you my thoughts on when we should give a refund. Would you write this down? Like, let's figure this out together. Just let them be the help along the way. So it's not that you have to wait to get help. Sometimes it's like getting the help to actually help you along the way, right? It's like, I'm going to tell you where my haircut is. Make sure you add it to the book. I'm going to tell you this time when we should get the refund. Will you go drop that in our processes? Or like, let you help me think this through. Like, grab a whiteboard. Let's talk this out. Whatever it is. So like, it's sometimes just do it with is kind of the third option.
Every time. Every time. I think the other thing is, like, I like to do inside my company / team, right? We call it a team ridge, but we call our staff coordinators. They're not assistants. And that's for a very clear reason. They coordinate, they own their role. They're not assistants. They're not waiting for me to give them tasks. They know what their job is. They know what decisions they need to make, and they know how to get the ball across the goal line, right? But I think if you call people assistants, it's not degrading necessarily, but they think that they're there to assist you. My coordinators are there to own the transaction process, to own the listing process. So like they're coordinating, and I make that very clear to the agents too, team leaders. Staff is, if not more important than your agents.
Don't just give them the task, give them the authority and the responsibility.
And then they call me in when there's a problem.
Don't just give them the task, give them the authority and the responsibility. So the authority is like sometimes we give them the task, we don't actually give them the authority. It's like, I want you to go do this, but like, hey, that's me. Don't do anything without talking to me. It's like, well, then I haven't really delegated it, right? I just got a little helper, right? Delegate, like, here's the thing, give them the authority and then give them the responsibility. And the responsibility is like, this is your baby now, right? Like, I expect you to get it done, not I expect you to work on it. I expect you to bring this to resolution. I expect you to bring this across the line.
Take it up a step, hire their compensation to it, right? I mean, pay them a healthy wage. But if it's transactions, guess what? Why don't you bonus a little bit on transactions, or 5-star reviews if they're in a thing that they don't have a tangible object with, right? Like, just think through things that, because if you give them the option to make decisions and they own their role and they're compensated based on their performance, dude, you'll get the right people.
Absolutely.
All right. So I think one of the fourth thing that we've come up with, or that I've come up with, is we spoke about it briefly, but it's remove yourself, right? But in stages. So as you hire people, and it's always been my theory, I want to know how to do everything. So that way I can give it all. It's just how I started in the business. I was everything for our team. And then I started hiring somebody for one position to the next, to the next. One easy way to do this is, probably tired of me saying it, go get the book, buy back your time, go through the time audit, go through the matrix, which we can do a whole nother coaching on this, and see, what do I like to do? What do I don't like to do? Those are the basic answers. It's not really how it goes. But then the things you don't like to do, make those the ones you start stepping out of. Remove yourself from the stuff you don't like. Therefore, you can do the things you do like and make you money. And it's not to disappear. You're not trying to work yourself out of, like, you're not going to go retire in a Bahama island and just tell your team what to do. Like, they're going to leave you. But if you did what you're great at, man, you're going to love going to work. You're going to be making money hand over fist. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful place to work. So I think that's what people need to do.
And here's the hardest part. Most of us have been rewarded for being the one that handles it all. We love the feeling of being able to solve the problems. We love the feeling of being able to answer and make a difference. And our clients have loved it for us. Our team members have loved it for it. Wayne's always about, like, our people love the problem is it's going to restrict your team, your life, your business, your income, your freedom. Freedom really isn't about doing more. It's about building something that doesn't need you. It's encouragement to somebody who's looking at, like, they got an elephant to eat. Like, it's just start with one thing, right? Audit, right? 3 questions you got today. And write down, okay, what are the 3, what do I need to do so those questions don't have to hit my desk again? Start small, and we'll keep walking through it. If you want to ramp up this, if you want to hit some nitro on this, reach out to Brad and I. Let's have a conversation about what coaching would look like, or what R&D would look like. Rip off and duplicate what we've already built, so you don't have to start from scratch.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's the hardest part. Reach out, ask for help, but do us a favor, hit the like and subscribe button for us. Because you're going to want to see the next episode, and we want to make sure that shows up in your inbox when it comes out, because we're going to keep tackling things about momentum and scale and size and all that fun stuff. So,
dude, next episode is about how do I keep my people? Like, how do I retain? It's going to be good. Most people they have a retention problem, and we're going to give you what exactly to do. This one is probably the most important. Your biggest advantage right now is clarity. Being the clearest voice in a chaotic, confusing market. Right now, the loudest person does not win. The clearest one wins. Your biggest opportunity right now is to go, here's the stats. Here's what that probably means. Here's what's happening here. Here's what that means for you. Here's who this market is for. Here's who avoid this market. Here's what buyers are looking for now. Here's what they don't give a rip about it anymore. Clarity is powerful right now. Clarity with your buyers, clarity with your sellers, clarity with your database in your market. So you don't need to be the loudest, but I think the way you stand out right now is giving clarity and being that calm in the storm.
Yeah. And to quote a lady that was a guest speaker at my daughter's National Honor Society thing yesterday, like, you are who you surround yourself with. And it was so basic for 8th graders, but it was so on point, right? If you're in a spot, a company, a team or whatever, and they all think the market sucks too, you're around the wrong people. And that's holding you back, because the market can be good for you if you find your way and push through it. But if you think everybody thinks it sucks, then you're going to think it sucks, and you're going to suck, and you're not going to make any money, and everybody's sucking.
Yep. What are you going to make of this market? So here's the truth, right? Ask yourself, is there anything you've been avoiding? What you need to take action on, and then really go like, hey, what do I want to be proud of over the next 90 days? What are the key actions I need to take that will guarantee I hit my goals, right? And then do I need some accountability, some help with that, and then get that. But this is going to be a beautiful time for those people that get clear and take the right consistent action and say no to a whole lot of the other stuff.
Preach.
See you on the next episode.
Hey, real quick, if you're liking this content, imagine having a full day immersed with people that are on this, like us, that are learning from each other.
Man, we do these kind of events, these intensive, a couple times a year. And if you know that you are the smartest person in the room and you need to get in some other rooms, this is the place to be, right? So apply, send us a message right now. We'll send you the application link and see if you are the right fit to be in one of the rooms.